Hi everyone, I'm Luis from LuisReviewer.com. You're welcoming you to my new podcast episode of World of Entertainment. Uh, if you know by now, this is just a moment where I just talk about movies I've seen or news that I've read that interest me. And for today, I'm going to be looking at or talking about four films that I got to see between the last episode and this one. Um, and in terms of news, I've been reading and searching, what news I found interesting. And I have to say, of course, yesterday was May Star Wars Day, of course, May the 4th, and we got the premiere for the Bad Batch on Disney Plus. So I just finished watching the first episode. So it's in the style of the Clone Wars, uh, which I liked, although I felt it stretched it for too many seasons, uh, and I kind of got tired mid fifth, sixth, seventh season. But I thought it was a good series. So this one, I found the first episode to be very promising, very interesting. Um, I'm not gonna give anything away, but I like the way it connects uh, with the third episode three and the end of the Clone Wars. Uh, so it's promising. Of course, it's only one episode. We have to see how the show develops, but I have to say that I really enjoyed it. It had action. It had a good story. I was kind of skeptic because I was not a fan of the clones per se and how they were. And how many stories were focused on them on the Clone Wars. But I kind of said that I liked it. I liked the Bad Batch. I don't know if they're gonna drop every Wednesday the new episodes or every Tuesday. I don't know. I don't know when the next episode will be available. Uh, but I imagine it's gonna be either Friday or another day. So we got the Bad Batch released yesterday. Something else that I read over the week that I found interesting. If you've been a fan of Marvel for the past few months or even the year, the rumor mill of the next Spider-Man movie has been going wild from Tobey Maguire. Of course, we got Alfred Molina has been confirmed. Uh, Now we got even the rumor that Willem Dafoe will be in it as Green Goblin. There's just so many things going on. But I saw an interview, I think it's on YouTube, where Andrew Garfield denied that he's been contacted to be part of the Spider-Man film. So this could either be the truth, and there is no intention of bringing him back, or it could be him throwing us off, and he will be appearing. I don't know. There's a part of me that's kind of afraid to see how they're going to do this multiverse thing. But there's a part of me who would love to see, especially Andrew Garfield, because I think he was a good Spider-Man. His films were not the best, but I think he's the best Spider-Man in my opinion, even more than Tobey Maguire. But The Amazing Spider-Man was a good movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2 had a good moment, but it was an awful film. I hated the Green Goblin in that film. Uh, but anyway, so as of today, he's denying it. He's saying that he has not been contacted. So we can either say that it's the truth, or that he's really hiding it, and he's gonna make an appearance later on. We don't know. So we're gonna have to uh, see how the story unfolds and see the truth. Whether the truth is that he indeed will not be appearing. And the last piece of news: Loki is the next show on the Marvel. We just finished Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And Loki will be released on June, and this one is going to be different because the new episodes will drop every Wednesday instead of every Friday. So I don't know. I kind of like the Friday dynamic. I don't know about half the week waking up really early to see the show. Um, but anyway, that's the official news that it's been told. I think it was yesterday that I read the news. So let's get right into the films. I want to start uh, with this. It's a Latin film. It's on Netflix. It's in English. The title is "Tell Me When." In español, es "Dime Cuándo Tú." And and it's directed by Gerardo Gatica, starring Jimena Romo, Jesus Zavala, and the great Veronica Castro. Okay, so this film, I don't know. I kind of stumbled upon it, and I kind of read what it was about, and it interested me. And I'm getting to like a lot of Latin comedies and Latin movies. I think they offer a different perspective, and they're unique. And I haven't been enjoying the ones I've been seeing, so I decided to see this one. And this one, the story is about Will. Will is this young man who's very goal oriented. He's just been a good kid. He's focusing on work. His parents died, so he was raised by his grandparents, and he's basically been this good kid. He studied. He was focused on his work. So on one of his birthdays, his grandfather had a surprise for him. He was writing in this book places that he wanted his grandson to see from Mexico because he wanted his grandson to know his roots. So he had this book. He had it. He wanted to give it to him for his birthday, but he died. So the book remained on the shelf where the grandfather left it until a year passed, and he found it, and he decided to go on the trip. So he goes. He takes the time off from work. He goes to Mexico, and there he begins to learn. When he plans to go to learn about his roots, he meets the group of people, which was, I think it was the granddaughter of one of her grandmother's friends who lived in there, and he makes friendship with her and another friend that she had, and they show him around. He gets to live a little. So that's basically kind of in a nutshell the story. So I thought it was a charming film. The story has a few cliches, like most of this kind of stories, but that did not bother me or matter in making me enjoy the film, because I think the characters were very well developed. They were good. They were funny. They were warm. The relationship between the characters grew organic. I didn't feel like it was forced, and I just felt it was a nice little film. I think it was like I said, it was just a charming film. The two lead actors were great. I think she had a certain charm to the character, and I like Will because I think he played the character very well, and we can see the changes in the character along as the story moves on. I think he performed them very well. So I think it was a good movie. I enjoyed it, and it's on Netflix. That's where I actually saw it, and it was good. I really liked it. So moving on, another film that I saw this week is the film also on Netflix, Things Heard and Seen. So this one is directed by Sherry Springer Berman and Robert Pulcini, and it stars Amanda Seyfried, James Norton, and then F. Murray Abraham. So I confessed in one way that when I read, I didn't know what it was about, but when I read that it was a horror film, I kind of got nervous because I don't like this. I like horror films. I can see them, but I don't like the wave of horror films, like supernatural things and all that. So I was a little bit like, okay, let's see where this one goes. But so anyway, I'm gonna go directly to what the story. The story's about Claire and her family. Claire is married to George, and George just finishes his, I think, a master's or some new title, and he gets a job in this little town. So he moves his family there to this small house that has his history on it, and so many strange things begin to occur between in the house and between the family. Um, so yes, if you just by listening to it, it has a little bit of The Shining and Amityville. That kind of the film reminded me a little bit about those things, but not it's not equally because the house is not influencing anyone in a way. It's just when I saw it, I saw elements because of the surroundings made the husband change or it got who he was out. So maybe that's kind of how it goes. So I enjoyed the film. I think it had a good story. It was interesting. Um, I think if you're a horror fan, I don't think you will be horror terrified or even tense. It has its moments, where it surprises you with images and stuff. But so I don't know if any big horror buff is gonna enjoy it for that sense. But I think the story was good enough. Um, it's predictable in some things, but in others it's not. So it works. Um, I think the backstory could have been a little bit more clear in a way, but I think it works. I think it was I think it was an interesting story. I was interested to see, the history or the because of what was going on. I think the ending, I think could have been a little bit more tense, but I think it was good, and it was good. But I think it lacked the shock sense. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more shocking in a way because of the build up. But other than that, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was interesting. I liked the performances of Amanda and the whole cast. Um, so it's a nice little thriller kind of film where there will be moments when you might get a little bit suspense. In others, you might just be interested in the story and finish it through. So that one was released, I think, last week. On April 30th, I think it was released. I saw it on the day it was available on Netflix. So it's an interesting film. It's not, like I said, if you're a horror buff, it's not going to be like, wow, my God, what is this? But I think it's enjoyable and a fun, well, not fun, but kind of an interesting film that you can get to see. So the next film I want to get into, this is going to be like a little film. If you want to see with the family, it's called The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's directed by Mike Rianda and it stars Abby Jacobson, Danny McBride, and Maya Rudolph. So I got to see this one with the family. The only reason that I kind of saw it was because of that. I wanted a film to see with my daughter and my wife, so we got this. We saw it on Friday, and the story is about the Mitchell family. The Mitchell family are a unique family. If you look at them, they begin comparing themselves to perfect families and all that, and they're unique. I'm not gonna say weird. They're unique. You got the father and the mother, Katie, which is big into making films, and the little brother. The little brother is into dinosaurs, if I don't remember. So the film starts. The basic of the film is the relationship between the father and the daughter. Katie feels that her father does not. Is not behind her. He doesn't believe in her. The father doesn't want her to be so involved in making films or studying films. He wants her to study something else that will give her a little bit more secure in terms of work. So when she goes to college, she's looking forward to leaving, but her father suddenly opens his eyes, and he realizes that this is his last chance to bond with his daughter. So he decides to cancel the flight and go on a road trip. So they go as a family on the road trip, and basically, while they're traveling, uh, machines attack. You got this kind of Apple-like character who develops a lot of technology, and the technology takes control, and they want to eliminate all humanity, and that's where the Mitchell family go against the machines and save the world. Okay, so um, for this kind of films, what I look forward for in them is whether the family is entertained, um, and I think it achieved that. At least me and my daughter, we laughed during the whole film. So the film, I think, is too. It might have been a little bit too long for a cartoon, but I didn't feel it like a dread or whatever. It was. I mean, I laughed. It had good, charming, emotional moments between the relationship between the father and the daughter. But it was funny. I mean, I laughed. It was really funny. It was unique because there were a lot of mix that they did with the cartoons and the films, and it was wacky. It was a wacky little weird little film, but I think it was a good movie. I think the families can enjoy it. At least I enjoyed it with my daughter. So so I can say that it is. I thought it was a fun movie, and like I said, if you're looking for a film to see with your family, I think this is a good choice because it has a little bit of everything. It has a good story, it has funny, and it has a lot of moving, emotional moments too. So that one is the Mitchells against the Machines. Okay, so let's see. I think I got one more movie left. Yes, and that movie is Without Remorse. This one is available on Amazon Prime, and this one stars Michael B. Jordan. Okay, so this movie is kind of based on the movies of Jack Ryan, um, and they're basically in that style. And so I don't remember. I mean, I remember the old Jack Ryan films with Harrison Ford. I think it was Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. So the story follows John Kelly. John Kelly is a Navy SEAL, and he's on a mission, and he's suddenly given orders to perform like a rescue, and he realizes that it was a lie, that they were going against Russian soldiers. And so when they come back, we see John Kelly retire with his wife, about to be a father, and suddenly the members of the team that perform on that mission, they're getting hunted down and killed. And when they go to John Kelly's house, they end up killing his wife, and of course she was pregnant, so they also kill the daughter. So he goes on a revenge spree and goes trying to find out why his family was murdered. Why was his team hunted down? So basically, that's the main focus on the film. So okay, so I really liked the film. I think it had a good. The story was interesting, but for this film, I think the action is the main thing, and I thought it was good. I thought it worked out better because I thought it was going to be this kind of take into the film where you just go one by one, but no, it was done with a kind of like a balance, because John Kelly was the man, and he was the best soldier around, but he did get hurt. He did have to, go through the agencies. He went to jail and all that. So I thought it was well done. I thought the movie, I think it was fun. I think it was fun. It's the best thing I can say. I can't say the story was perfect, or that it wasn't, that it was something that left me wow, amazing, or that I was so surprised and shocked at the revelations and all that. So, but I think it achieved the main purpose, was just to entertain. Michael B. Jordan is continuing to prove that he's a great leading actor, and I think he's being smart because he's choosing very different roles and not the same all the time. I think he has a bright future, and in this one he was good. He was good in the film. He did a very well performance in it, along with the cast. The cast was good. So those are the films that I've seen. You can read a more detailed review on my webpage. And you know, so I want to discuss one little film. This one, you can call this one on the spotlight section. I'm gonna go with this is kind of like a guilty pleasure film. It's something called Get Over It. It's a teen comedy drama, but I have to say that I've always enjoyed it. Please, it's a silly comedy. It's nothing. It's not a masterpiece of writing. It's not. It's not Oscar material. But I thought it was fun. It's funny. It's really quirky. It stars Kristen Dunst, Ben Foster, Tom Hanks' song, Colin Hanks, and basically the movie is. It's kind of based on a Midsummer Night's Dream, and they are actually doing a play of that Shakespeare, and the characters are going through the same love triangle than the novel. So basically, it's that you get Burke, who's been dumped by his longtime girlfriend, and he wants to get her back, but she's dating this boy band singer, and you get Kelly, who's in love with him, who is the sister of his best friend. So, like I said, it's quirky, but I think it's a fun little film. It's from 2001. So if you haven't seen it and you're in the mood for a silly movie, I think I recommend it. I think I enjoyed it. So anyway, that's the show for this week. Hopefully, I'll be able to give you more films for next week. So take care and bye.